we should be live. Let's see where else we're live at. I'm going to get us fired up live. So, Julie, can you keep an eye on the Facebook live stream? Kelly's going to keep an eye on the YouTube. Okay. And there, something went wrong, and it's not your fault. What does that even?
All right, I have YouTube up.
Go live. Okay, something went wrong. Something went wrong. Go live. Something went wrong. So we're not getting. I'm not getting any. I'm not getting anything on Periscope, but I don't think anyone's really watching Periscope, right, Julie?
Yeah, nobody's on that.
All right, I'm going to try one more time for Periscope, and if it doesn't work, then screw it. It's not working. Okay, so we're live. I want to see what this looks like here. Now, Endgame is tonight, right? The premiere?
Yes. That's why I'm avoiding Facebook.
Yeah, I know, that's understandable.
These people are assholes.
Oh, they love to tell you what's going on, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hello, Shayna. Okay. So, we're live. Okay. Awesome sauce. How do we look in Facebook? Whoever's looking at Facebook.
I'm looking at Facebook. We're looking
Facebook's
fine.
good, but
What's the matter, Julie?
it's just I can hear the sound in the Facebook.
You can hear the weird noise?
Yeah.
Well, you can always grab your other mixer if you have it handy. Or unplug your mic and plug it back in.
So bad.
Okay, well, what I'll do is when we start, you can kind of work on it and you can pop in and test it, okay? All right, so let's see. Lots of stuff to talk about tonight. All right, so is there anyone in Facebook Live yet? You there? No. Everyone's out watching, everyone's out watching, what do you call it?
Endgame.
Endgame, yeah. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome and get vocal.
Hello.
All right. We're getting some shit. All right, so we're pretty much set up to go. Julie's working on her computer. In the meantime, we'll get started. We have a lot of stuff to talk about.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Do.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit language and spoilers. This is Behind the Iron Throne, your unofficial Game of Thrones podcast.
So exciting. All right, we're going to go right from there. And that should give me plenty of space for audio brilliance. And let's get... There's a terrible noise in my background. Can you hear it when I'm talking?
I hear nothing. You sound perfectly clear.
All right, awesome. Julie, you want to try again? Or are you going to work on it a little bit? Oh, she's getting new cables. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to intro her and just let everyone know that she's trying to fix her gear while we're doing this. And then she can pop in and see how it sounds. Okay, so let's begin. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Well, hello. Welcome back to Behind the Iron Throne. I'm your host, Chris Gray, and I'm joined tonight by a great panel of Game of Thrones enthusiasts. Now, my sister Julie is here, but she's working on her microphone because it's making a terrible noise, and she's trying to get it fixed so she can be a part of the show. So when she gets it fixed, we'll bring her back in. We also have Kelly. Holla back at you. Holla, what is girl?
Hey, Morph.
Good to have
Thank
you.
you for bringing me.
Well, it's April 25th, and it's about 8:30 Eastern time, and we're kind of doing a little bonus episode here. You didn't get a chance to be on the last episode to tell us what you thought about season 8, episode 2. So I want to pick your brain, see what you thought about it, talk a little bit more about that episode, and also, see if we can get some of the community involvement into this particular podcast. I'm hoping some people pop in the live streams so we can get their opinion in on this as well. Now, I just want to mention that the live stream is available at getvocal.com. If you go there and search Behind the Iron Throne, it'll pop up. You can join us in the chat there. And also, there is the ability to jump into the conversation. If you have a computer with a laptop or a microphone or whatever, you can actually jump in the conversation at getvocal.com. We're also on live at BehindTheIronThrone.tv, woo, which is our YouTube channel. And we're going to be monitoring the channels very heavily tonight to get as much of your opinion in, if ever, depending on who shows up live. We are also on Facebook.com/Behind the Iron Throne live. So if you're on Facebook instead, we get you in there as well. We're going
We
to try
got
to read
Kayleen with us on YouTube.
Who's with us?
Kayleen on YouTube.
Yay! And I believe Shailene is with us as well. I'm sorry, Shayna. I hope I'm saying your name right. She's always in the chat. Kayleen has always been in the chat. So that's awesome. And the regulars, they get gold stars. I always see them in here live. Mag is here. Mag gets a gold star. I always notice Mag's name. And what's funny? Even
Hello,
though
Meg.
we've never met these people, seeing them interact on the Facebook page, on all the Facebook posts, which our Facebook page has been blowing up lately, seeing you guys communicate with us in the YouTube chat and in the Get Vocal, Elizabeth's in the Get Vocal right now. Hi, Elizabeth. And we were on Periscope, but we weren't getting any traction there. So we kind of dropped it for the time being. And besides, I think I broke it. I have a problem breaking things. I try to pick them up and I break them.
You're not supposed to be able to break it.
How many wires I've gone through. So real quick, if anybody is listening to us right now live and you're at Ice and Fire Con in Ohio, in Sterling, Ohio, at the convention, I want to let you know that right now, I believe Trin is doing a panel and John doing a panel tonight and Trin's doing one tomorrow or vice versa. The schedule's on the website. They're in different panels today and tomorrow. I will be going there tomorrow night. I'll be there tomorrow night. And if you want to find me, I'll be in the gym because I'm not going to get there till like 8 o'clock. So I'm going to be exercising in the gym. So that's where I'll be. And then afterwards, I'm going to grab dinner. So whoever's available, you want to have dinner, I'll be posting on Facebook my location. So if you want to hang out with us, that's awesome. Saturday, April 27th in the Scarlet Oak Room at 3:30, Trin, John, and myself will be doing a live. Well, we're going to try to do it live. We're going to be doing a podcast, and we're going to try to do it live also. Like a VIP meet and greet at Ice and Fire Con. So if you're there and you pop in, we'll bring you on the show. I'm going to have a microphone set up so you can come in and actually be a part of the podcast. If you're nice and if you're there. And don't worry, if you can't make it, I plan on bringing you guys into the podcast as well down the road using this Get Vocal program because you can pop in and communicate with us. It's really awesome. That being said, I'm really excited about this week's episode. Don't be jealous, Kayleen. Don't you be jealous. You're always welcome. And, you can always jump in and be a part of this too. If you have a Google Chrome browser, you go to GetVocal, GetVokl.com, and look for us in there. You connect it to your Facebook. If you have a microphone, You don't even need a video camera, you just microphone, and you can go right to your laptop and be a part of the podcast. We'd love to have you to chit chat with us. And after we're done reviewing the season, the last season of Game of Thrones, we're going to bring you guys in at the, we're going to review it. And then at the end, we're going to do really long, extensive videos and then have, try to bring you guys in.
As opposed to what we're already doing.
Yeah, right. Now, the idea was to have short episodes, like maybe an hour and a half. And then, we would save the real in-depth, detailed episodes at the end. But it turns out that we're giving you 2-hour episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And we're exceeding our live limit right now, which I actually asked for an upgrade. And they're supposed to be giving me an upgrade on the time. But we've been going way over the time. But there's so much stuff to talk about. In this last episode, we went through it. We try to go through it as quickly as possible. But there was just a lot of stuff going in this episode. Now, I mean, I was happy to see Jaime Lannister, bam, right there in the first scene.
Yeah.
And you know what? Before I even talk about that, did you notice that the intro was different? Or did you watch the intro this time?
I did watch the intro this time.
Did you notice the difference from the last episode?
Yes, I loved it.
I like how they're doing the interior of Winterfell and of King's Landing, and how I just love the way they did the intro. It just spoils it for nobody can do an intro like that. So after that all went down, we have Jaime Lannister, and I didn't think it was going to go down in such a good way. I thought he was toast.
Really?
Yeah, I was worried that he wasn't going to make it past this episode.
Oh. Elizabeth said the blue tiles were further along in the intro.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. And Mag just said, so much to go over, need several hours. We'd love it all. Thank you so much, Mag. I'll tell you, we do get hate mail, people complaining that we ramble and talk too much, but I'm glad to see. I don't care about the hate mail anymore. I get it, and I just throw it in the garbage. So I'm glad that you're enjoying all the content. We try to put out as much as we possibly can with the time that we're allotted. So what did you think about this scene, Kelly, with, Jaime, sitting in front of Dany, and she's like, my brother and I dreamed about the day, we would find our father's killer. She seemed pretty pissed.
Yeah, the thought that occurred to me is that she seems to be forgetting who her father was. Like, okay, I get it. Jaime stabbed him in the back. He got a whole bunch of shit for being the Kingslayer. But, a couple seasons ago, Dany's like, I know who my father was and I know what he did. And if that's the case, then why are you so pissed off?
I don't know about you, but I really feel like Dany, this whole season so far, has been real standoffish, real I am the king, or I'm the queen, I'm in charge.
Yeah, I have noticed a significant change in her personality, and I understand that she has to show strength. And she has, I mean, she's always been about that. She's never backed down in any scenario, no matter what any of her advisors said. What was that line of hers? I will answer injustice with justice.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But here, where she actually seems to have like opposition that matters.
No, you're right. And Mag says on the YouTube behind the IronThrone.tv, Mag says, I wish they'd written Jaime as defending his decision to become the Kingslayer. And I was really hoping for that too in this episode. I was really hoping that he was going to say, yo, or even Brienne, if Brienne of Tarth said, when I was with, after she went through her whole speech, which I thought was awesome.
Yes.
That saved his ass. I mean, it wasn't Tyrion that saved his ass. It was Brienne of Tarth and Sansa. And when she got up, I was kind of hoping, I'm like, please say it. Please say it. because he stopped a huge mass murdering by the Mad King. And
Right.
that hasn't been brought up again. And I think that's a really important part of who Jamie is as a character. And I wish that would have been brought up.
Elizabeth on Get Vocal says that Dany was raised to hate the Kingslayer and want the Iron Throne, and she's not happy with how the character's been portrayed this season,
I
and
agree.
is hoping for a change of heart. And yeah, I'd have to agree with that. No matter what she thinks about her father, if you're raised kind of being indoctrinated into that way of thought, it would be hard to change.
Yeah. I agree. Dany is definitely not the character I was hoping she would be this season so far. The only time I've enjoyed watching Dany is when she's been interacting with Jon prior to Jon saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm Aegon." Prior to that, like in episode 1, even the corny dragon flight, like that was the Dany that I like. A little bit more laid
Yeah.
back, throwing out little funny jabs. That's the person I was looking for. And when she was talking to Sansa, that's the Dany I like. Not the Dany who's like, bend the knee, I'm the boss, bend the knee, kiss my ass. I don't like that. And when she was giving Tyrion a bunch of shit, Tyrion is a human being and he's going to fuck up. Everyone fucks up. And she's been really hard on him. And it was interesting to see Jorah stand up for him.
That surprised me.
Me too. I was
But in a
definitely
good way.
surprised. Yeah. Now, Kayleen says it also just seems kind of off after we had to watch her coldly tell Sam she killed his dad and brother. Yes. That's a very interesting point. But her justification, at least as I'm watching this character, she can justify that by saying, I gave them a choice. But to me, that still doesn't justify shit because she still could have had mercy. She should have learned from what she did in Marine when she lopped off what's-his-name's head and everyone went nuts. And they hissed at her, like I thought that her as a character would have learned a little bit more by now. Kayleen also says she seems kind of threatened by the women people of the North. In past seasons, she really been better about proving her worth to the people around her. No, I agree. Last season, I was very much into Dany, except for, how she killed House Tarly. Kayleen also says it was the way she told Sam, like, damn, have a little empathy. Yeah, I agree. She was very, like, she could have said, I'm sorry, but she could have. Now, this is something that she can't do, in my opinion. She cannot humble herself. Humbling herself and saying, you know what? I tried to give him a chance. I'm sorry. I really did. But they stood their ground and I had to do what I had to do. And they would not, explain yourself a little bit. And I know that's not the way that it was written and, I can wish all I want, but I think that would have been more her character, at least from how I remember her being in season 7. Unless I'm totally, wrong. I could be.
No, Elizabeth said that she had that sparkle in her eye with John at the waterfall and with Sansa. And I think you're right that, whatever she used to be like before, we're seeing glimpses of it, but something definitely changed her. And I'm not sure
Yeah.
what.
And I remember when we just watched in episode 1 when she was riding up in the in that train, the procession, and
Yeah.
she's kind of like got this smug look on her, and she's looking at all the people that are, they're covered in mud and dirt and grime, and she just has this look on her face, and I just it didn't rub the North the right way right from get-go.
Yeah.
Now, another scene that I thought was interesting, Kelly, was when Jamie goes to apologize to Bran in the Godswood. Oh, before even that, I cannot stand Bran. You guys that listen to the podcast know this, and I'm probably driving you nuts about it. But I literally want to roll him down a flight of stairs. You know what I mean? Like every time you turn around, this fucking creeper is somewhere. Like I had a dream 2 nights ago, and this is no shit. I had a dream. I was in a place that looked like Winterfell, and a beautiful scene, a little bit of snow, and I'm looking out, And I turned and I was talking to somebody. I don't know who it was. It was a very, very strange dream. And I turned to the right and there he's sitting, staring at me. Then I
More.
ended up at like McDonald's in this dream, and I was wearing like Jon Snow's cloak, and there he is sitting next to the guy taking my order, just staring at me. There he
Wow.
is, fucking Brandon. I hate him. Like he is
We
the
have
new Dream Creeper.
we have Ashley on YouTube saying hello that she finally made it to a live show.
Yay! Welcome, Ashley. Welcome live. So every time I see Brandon, I'm gonna push him down a flight of stairs. Now the actor Isaac is doing a great job making me hate him. Not him, not him the actor, but him the character. You know, I don't hate any of these actors. I'm just saying the characters.
Of
And
course.
I get a lot of fun out of it, and I hope the audience does too. But it's funny because he's like the things we do for love. And it's like, oh God. that couldn't have happened at a more awkward time. And Jamie looks at him and it's like, oh shit. So that was fun. And he's just a fucking creeper. I don't know what to say.
But it is kind of as we had discussed before that Bran's take on the entire thing is if Jamie hadn't have done what he had done, then they wouldn't be where they are.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Jamie apologizes to Bran to the new wheel creeper, and I think that's going to be his name from now on, the wheel creeper. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm sorry. And Bran says, well, first he at one point I forget what he says verbatim, but I'm not Bran anymore. And he says
Yeah.
something else. Kind of, I guess he kind of forgives him. I don't even know. Does he forgive him? I don't remember what he said verbatim.
Well, he said that he said he's not the boy he was anymore, and Jamie said he's not who he was back then. And Bran points out, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the entire episode. Bran points out that if he hadn't pushed him out the window, he still would be.
That's something we've said on this podcast before.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with that. Now, Ashley Jordan, awesome, says, thank you. Love you guys. Yeah. Can't wait to go on the ride with all of you and then have you explain to me all the things I missed. Well, yes, that's going to be a lot of fun. And maybe some of the audience can explain shit to me that I missed because I watched this episode 4 times and I picked up on stuff. And I hope I'm able to get it into this episode because there was a lot of stuff.
That's the fun of it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our audience understands that there's a lot to this stuff, and they give us a lot of leeway, and we really appreciate that. Oh, real quick, I almost forgot. God, I forgot. If you guys had a problem getting the podcast, episode 207, and any of the episodes, the company that I use that hosts our media, that hosts our podcast, had a huge server crash, and they've been struggling with it for 2 days. Hopefully this podcast comes out, and I'm really, really sorry. And the company that I use, they've been working nonstop for 2 days straight on it, trying to get all the episodes back. The episodes should be downloading, but very slowly, but they're not streamable just yet off of the Hipcast website. But on iTunes, it should be downloading. It just takes some time for everything to reload. So I'm so sorry. It's completely out of my control. I just pay the monthly bill and upload it and pray to God that it works. So I'm so sorry if you couldn't get the episodes. And I'm sorry that it wasn't working. It should be up now, God willing. Lord of Light willing. Okay, so Mag says, Bran said Jamie wouldn't be able to fight the fight if he told on him and got killed for it. Excellent.
Which is true.
Thank you so much for pointing that out. Elizabeth said, what did Elizabeth say in Get Vocal? Hold on, let me just take a peek here real quick. Because I'm sorry, Elizabeth, I'm missing some of your comments here. Danny was raised to hate the Kingslayer. Okay, so I missed some of the stuff Elizabeth said. I want to get that in here. Danny was raised to hate the Kingslayer and want the Iron Throne, but I'm not happy with. Oh, did you read that or did I already?
I already did.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm 500 things going on in my head. She had that sparkle in her eye. Yep, you read that already. I've listened to the podcast twice on Apple. Okay, here we go. Good. So thank you, Elizabeth, for letting me know about that because I've been struggling with it on the Hipcast website. So it's just a streaming part that's broken. Okay, so let's see here. Julie, do you think your microphone is okay? Let's hear how you sound. I don't hear a word you're saying, kid. You're muted on Get Vocal. And this is why we love doing live. It's still muted on Get Vocal. In the meantime, we're going to press on. Mag says in the BehindTheIronThrone.tv, Bran said Jaime wouldn't be able to fight this fight if he told on him and got killed for it. So thank you so much, Mag, for that. I think I already read that, but I didn't want to miss it. Really want to get your guys' comments in here. Any Facebook comments, Kelly?
I don't know. I wasn't watching Facebook.
Shit.
That was Julie. I was watching YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Julie.
Julie's microphone is having some issues, so she's muted. That's why you see her live, but you don't hear her. We kind of fix it on the fly while we're doing the show. So, Kelly, I may need you to pop over to Facebook.
I'm on it.
Thank you. And we'll see what everyone in Facebook is saying. We'll try to get caught up on that, on those comments. In the meantime, we talked about Dany, basically telling Tyrion, he's messing up and, he might not be the hand much longer, which sucks. Now, I like the conversation between Jaime and Tyrion as they're walking around, and then they're up on the ramparts, and Tyrion says, I want to die with wine in my hand and a mouth, a woman, a whore on my ding dong, something to that effect. I forget it verbatim, but I thought that was fun. And then, of course, Jaime turns to look at Brienne. But I think that, and I mentioned this on the last episode, on episode 207, I thought we've got some foreshadowing here. I think that when he said, I don't want to die, or I'm not going to die by Cersei's hand, but he's going to end up being, the undead. I wonder if that was foreshadowing.
I've wondered that about a lot of different things they've said. And I don't know if I'm looking into it right or if I'm, adding some more foil to the hat.
Well, add the foil away. Mag says Julie needs to mime her comments. Meme. I don't know what that means.
Mime, like a mime.
Mime. I gotcha. Kayleen says, ugh, hope not. Ashley says, was there any significance to the close-up on Arya's scar in the sexy time scene? Well, that's a good question. I think the scars, the only thing that was in significance to was to show us and to show Gendry that she's a tough cookie and that she got the shit kicked out of her when she was training with the waif. That's what I got from it. Now, if you guys got something else, please let us know in the chat. But that's pretty much what I got from that. We might as well jump right on to that. It means that it was brought up. What did you think, Kelly, about the sexy time scene with Arya and Gendry?
Well, I read a little bit of behind the scenes about it. I know that they gave the actress the choice about, how much she showed, and she felt that, it wasn't really necessary to go, tits out, so to speak. So I thought it was artfully done. I thought that the chemistry between them was cute. I thought it was nice.
It was definitely something. When I saw that scene, I thought, Jesus, this is bad. It's like she's still 13 in my eyes. Oh my God, even though she's a killer, like a flat out cold killer. And she showed Gendry that earlier when she was throwing those. Yeah, when she threw those dragon glass knives at the beam. She's not scared, but she hasn't seen one of these White Walkers yet. Kayleen says, I don't necessarily think that was foreshadowing. I'm kind of still debating which little brother is going to end up killing Cersei, or maybe that will happen. Now, that was that conversation we had a little bit earlier about my foreshadowing theory. And the prophecy, or the what is that called? I was just telling a guy at work today about this, and I did it so eloquently. Of course, during the show now, I'm having a brain fart. I'm having one of those senior moments. The Valonqar prophecy, right?
Yeah.
Where it was the brother, and maybe it's going to be Jaime. Who knows? Or, there's theories that it's going to be Arya wearing someone's face. Ashley says, so the theory that Arya is really the waif is debunked. I think so. I never
Yeah.
believed that theory anyway.
I don't see that.
That Arya's the waif.
Yeah, you sound better, by the way, Julie. Welcome back.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm finally I'm here.
Here.
A little bit of panic, but I'm here.
On Get Vocal, Elizabeth says, Arya jumped on that. Knew we were in for some romance, but damn, she skipped all the bases. No, I agree. She went right. She's like, I'm not taking off your pants. I'm not the red lady or the red woman. Kayleen says, so Tyrion, and that will be what breaks Jaime enough to kill Cersei. Well, it could be. And then Kayleen says, I'm actually really happy she got to make the decision for herself. I honestly didn't think that was going to play out, and it was great fan service. And then Shayna says, Julie, laugh out loud.
We have a lot of
Cheryl.
people on Facebook too.
Okay. Do you want to get us caught up on the Facebook?
Oh, good Lord.
Or at
Sorry,
least
Kelly.
caught up-
That's my bad. Sorry.
At least caught up partially for now, like in relevance. If you want to give everyone a
We
quick
have-
shout out.
We have Robert saying hi, just joining. And
Nice.
does
Welcome.
anyone think that in order for the cost of the Winterfell battle to be really high, a Stark needs to die? Assuming that Arya isn't needed to pair with Gendry for the end game, she would be the most obvious pick to be a casualty.
I don't think it's necessary that a Stark has to die.
Although it would be great.
Wow. Wow. I don't
That's
know
okay,
him,
Shayna.
everybody.
Do not text and drive. Enjoy the podcast.
Yes.
We'll have plenty of live shows for you to comment. I promise you. And Kayleen says, not enough time to touch every base.
Here's an interesting theory. Tom on Facebook says, in the scene of Jon, Sam, and Ed,
Mhm.
when they state, let the last one alive burn the rest,
Ooh.
the camera then focuses on Jon and Sam and Ed go a little out of focus. Oh, the camera then focuses on Jon, and then Sam and Ed go a little out of focus. And I pointed it out to my wife, and she saw it. So I'm guessing the assumption is that Jon is going to be the one burning both of them.
Well, we kind of already know based on some kind of leaked photos. We know.
No. I haven't heard about anything. Haven't heard about it. Don't want to know about it.
Okay,
Yeah, no,
then never mind.
No leaked. Yeah, but I'll tell you this. Jon has plot armor.
Oh, yeah.
He's not going anywhere.
He's not
for
going
a while.
anywhere.
Well, maybe not. This is Game of Thrones.
Look, John's not going anywhere.
Guys, in the next episode, I will buy a fucking cake. No, because we'll be at Ice and FireCon.
Yeah, you're
I'll
going to
be
be at the
there with-
con.
I'm going to be next to Jonathan Stoma Starklover, and I'm going to have a cake in my fucking pocket, and I'm going to smash it.
You won't
in his
do that.
smug face.
Stop that. No, I think John and Danny survive at least Winterfell. They survive at least Winterfell.
Shayna says Arya didn't lose her V card. She threw it at him.
Oh, she did. Like freaking
And
like
she says she's at
Gambit.
McDonald's right now.
Anybody watch
Like,
Anybody watch X-Men and with Gambit? So it's like pew, pew, pew. My favorite part of the whole thing is not that I trust me, I can't get that image out of my head, and it's like, yeah, the fact that she goes, I'm not the red woman, take off your damn pants. I was just like,
That was funny.
well, I guess there goes foreplay, huh, Arya?
So Kayleen says, I hate to say it, but I'd rather see Sansa go than Arya if a Stark has to go. I kind of
Oh, yeah.
agree, although I do like Sansa lately. And Jack Snithbox, I think I'm saying the name right, I hope, agrees with Kayleen. Kayleen also goes on to say, Game of Thrones has been good about putting the character face on the camera to hint at what's coming. So I'm really interested to see if that plays out, talking about the Dolores Ed, the Sam.
Yeah. Well, there's
And,
a lot of parallels from the first season.
There are.
There-
And Big E's here.
there's a lot of
Big E.
foreshadowing.
Woo!
Big E!
Big E.
Hello.
So good call. It was Robert that brought that up, right?
I think
Good
so.
call. Any other comments in the Facebook that you want to bring up, Kelly?
Let's see here. I'm so sorry if I miss anyone. We love you all.
We do.
Katie
Mhm.
is wondering why there was no Varys on the last episode, and I have to agree because I freaking love him.
There wasn't at all?
I think we saw him for a brief second in the throne room when she's having the conversation with Jamie at the beginning. When they break up and they leave the throne room, you see Varys look at, I think he looks at Tyrion, and then that's it. I don't think we get him because he doesn't have a conversation. Yeah, but that's not true. They do. I think they follow Dany into the hallway when Tyrion's being berated.
Yeah, Biggie
Mm.
says Varys was there, but he didn't talk. And Elizabeth says
He was in the
Varys
background.
was
Yeah.
in the background. So
Yeah.
Elizabeth says yes. Mag just said, Sam has armor. Isn't he the author of Ice and Fire? I want to get into that for just a second. But first, I'm going to say, Mag H, you think, ? And I don't know what that comment was from. I missed it. However, I don't think that there's a theory, and I know Trent believes this theory. And I think John Stomas Starklever from our show, Lord Duckdarian, believes this. There's a theory that Sam is actually the narrator of the story, and he's telling the story to us, and that's what's going to be, I guess, come out towards the end of the
So
season.
you think so?
I don't think that's true.
In that retrospect, if Sam is the storyteller, right,
Mhm.
that would mean he survives.
That's what it means. Yeah, that's the plot armor that he has. I don't think so. I don't think that that's how the story's going to go.
But didn't he write Sam? Didn't George R.R. Martin write Sam as himself?
That's what people say. I don't know. I've never seen. I know, Kayleen. I've kind of ignored this theory because I ignore all theories pretty much because they drive me fucking nuts.
Yeah, but you didn't.
Like
You
the
didn't
Serial
get. You didn't
Pharrell
ignore
theory?
the R plus L.
Well, that made sense. There was a
Oh.
lot of evidence for that.
That's true.
But like some of the other stuff, like that Jamie is not actually
Jamie.
Tywin Lannister's son, that he's a Targaryen, or Tyrion is a Targaryen.
Yeah, Tyrion's the Targaryen.
And there was a theory that Roose Bolton was a vampire. And I'm like, God,
Wow.
I mean, it wouldn't.
there's
That
some things
actually
I can get
has.
behind.
That could have some merit that he was a vampire.
In the books, he like leeches himself and shit. And I can. There's some theories I can get behind, but there's other ones that just seem like it's just fans that want that to be, which is great. That's why we have so much fun with this.
It's like they read a fanfic and they're like, yes, that's totally what's going to happen.
Now, Kayleen says, I stopped reading theories after I read the Hold the Door theory, and it was true. So kind of ruined that moment for me.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
It's funny you mention that because I was riding with a coworker today at work, and I was in the van going, hold the door,
That's
and I was
not
doing
right.
a really good job
That's
at
not
it.
right. You're
I had him
horrible.
laughing. I almost crashed the van into a tree. Biggie says, Samuel Tarly, White Walker Slayer, lover of ladies. If you need more signs that the world is ending. Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely. Jack Smith Box, I'm really sorry if I'm butchering your name, says, I've often wondered if Gilly might write TSOIAF. I don't remember.
Song of Ice and Fire.
Song of Ice and Fire. Okay. Kayleen says, haha, no, too soon. Laugh out loud. So, any comments in Facebook?
Gisela, sorry,
Yay,
I
Gisela.
butchered that. Said, I think the Night King is trying to enter Bran to use Bran to get a hold of the history of man within
Do
the
it.
network of the weirwood trees and to rewrite his own history.
Oh, it's Jack's in the box. Got it. Yeah, that could be.
The only problem is we don't have enough time for that.
Well,
No,
They can
but
do
Kelly's
that.
laughing because Kelly understands what I'm saying. We don't have
Yes.
enough time to set that up
Right.
unless they're going to push it into an off series of a show.
is it wrong that I want to see Wheel Creeper just die in this next episode?
But see, here's the thing. Here's
Is
the
that
thing.
wrong? Am I a
That's because
bad-
you're
Am
horrible.
I a bad person?
He is. He's a very horrible person, but I still love him nonetheless. But I think the reason why Bran is basically using himself as bait, there's something more to that. Bran
True.
knows something he's
But he
not
doesn't see
willing
the
to
future.
share.
He doesn't see the future. I read a bunch of posts about that. He does not read the future. Now, Kayleen says we don't have time for a lot. Laugh out
True,
loud, which
true.
is true. Ashley says I still think Bran is the Night King or caused the Night King. Big Iggy says we're going to have a big twist on this episode. You're absolutely right. And Elizabeth says, will the Night King be at the Battle of Winterfell? Question mark. Will he outsmart them? Now, I posted something like that on the Facebook page. I believe, and this is my prediction. We're going to be all over with this. This is just real quick. This is all about you guys. So we're having a lot of fun with this episode. We're going to kind of go all over the place. I agree with Elizabeth. I posted something on Facebook. Someone had a theory. I forget where I found it from, but the Night King is actually not going to show up in Winterfell. That son of a bitch is flying the fucking ice dragon down to Winterfell, down to the Red Keep, down to King's Landing, and he going to make himself a big ass fucking army. Meanwhile, the jackasses in Winterfell are playing dick around with his lieutenants. He's going to keep them there, and I think that I can see that. I can definitely see
But
that.
the whole concept of them in this I want to call it the Situation Room, for lack of a better term,
the
the round
hold on,
table of everybody.
The article came from Mashable. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Mashable.
Good.
But it's like, in the Situation Room where they're standing around the map and they're, trying to devise a plan, and Bran is like, his mark is on me. The theory of, and it's a very valid theory, that the Night King's not there. He's going down to King's Landing to that's a very valid theory. But can he really resist coming after the three-eyed raven? The whole purpose is for him to get the three-eyed raven, because he needs Bran more than he needs anything else.
I think that my answer is yes, because if he comes back with 500,000 people from King's Landing as White Walkers, sheer numbers will overwhelm the strong. Even if the dead are weaklings because they don't have a lot of muscle because they're bones and shit. Sheer numbers. I mean, you just throw a whole bunch of corpses at somebody, they're going the fuck down.
Yeah, but the old adage is it's not so much the quantity, it's the quality.
Well, yes and no. Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. I'm not disputing that. So let me just read a couple comments here. Big E says we're going to have a big twist on this episode. Episode 3 is going to be like, you guys thought the Red Wedding was bad, or the Purple Wedding, or any of that shit. I believe that this is going to be bad.
I think the worst episode is going to be. I think it's going to be the following one.
It could be. Kayleen says, do you guys think Melisandre's comment to Varys about dying in this strange country in season 7 will get to play out? I didn't know if we would have enough time. I think it will. When does Mel show up, says Jack in the Box, by the way. Biggie says they should chop Bran's arm and left it in the guts.
Yeah, to bait the Night King.
I like
Now
it.
that's a good idea.
I say, fuck it. Just leave Wheel Creeper. Leave him there. Fuck him. In the getvocal.com chat we have, he will always know where Bran is. The Citadel is also a target if he wants to erase man. No, excellent point. It's an excellent point. What kind of Facebook comments do you have?
Sarah says it's interesting that they never mentioned the ice dragon in the last episode. I have to agree.
Yeah.
Off point, Brody says there's a GIF floating around on Twitter that can spoil Endgame, so be very careful unless you see it, because there's a lot of assholes out there, which is what I was saying earlier.
So basically, I have to stay off social media the whole weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
That's why you just got to go see it. I'm going to go see it tomorrow morning.
I can't go see it tomorrow. I have tickets for another day because I'm going to Connecticut tomorrow.
Sorry for your luck. Well, congratulations. Have fun in Connecticut.
Thank you. You have fun in Ohio.
Oh, I'm going to.
At the Ice and Fire Con.
Fire Con 2019. Woo!
Wish I could be there. Really do.
If anybody wants their boobs signatured, I'll sign boobs. Ashley
I just want to say, if he does that, I want people to take multiple pictures so I can use them as blackmail. Thank you, everybody. I
Oh,
appreciate
doesn't
you.
matter. No blackmail. I already cleared it with the wife.
Ha.
Ashley Jordan says, I saw someone say the red wedding will look like a rehearsal dinner compared to the next episode. Yes. And Kayleen agrees with Big E. Dexter, welcome. I say at least 5 big characters die. Oh, here we go. This is going to be fun. Jorah, Grey Worm, Beric, Theon, and Varys.
I don't think
I
Varys.
agree
I don't
with
think
you.
Varys dies.
I don't
agree-
think
I
I
agree
don't
with
think
Dexter.
Varys.
I agree with Dexter, but I think we need to add some more to that list.
I don't think Jorah
I
dies
do.
either.
I agree with the rest of them though, just not Varys.
We're going to talk about that in a second. Big E says Dany will be conflict when she faces Viserion. Oh, yeah. Oh, she'll be in conflict. Yes. Kayleen, you guesses I'm going to go see Endgame in 4D. Laugh out. Guy, she meant.
It's funny.
Sorry, my computer doesn't like my typing. That's okay. Computers don't like when I talk. I don't think Varys, Kayleen says. Dexter says Beric dies resing someone. Ooh. He gives his life over to raising Jon Snow, who's going to get taken. He's going to get
The
killed.
only way he does that is if he knows Melisandre's there. Think about it. He needs to make sure that Melisandre is in the vicinity so that if God forbid somebody does fall down again, he knows Melisandre can resurrect.
Brian or Biggie says Brian will be fighting a white giant. Yeah, probably. And Jack in the Box says, how do they take Viserion down? These are very good points. Elizabeth says, can we talk about how we were screwed by the ghost cameo? That was trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't.
That was pretty lame.
They blew all the budget on the dragons and everything
Kayleen,
else.
Yeah, Kayleen, Mel went back to Essos. And I have a feeling that she's coming back to East to okay, she went
She went to Essos, is coming back to Westeros.
coming back to Westeros. Because here's another theory. I want to throw this out there. Don't bet on my theories if you're in any pools because you will fucking lose.
Big time.
Melisandre went back to Essos. She's going to get her red priestesses and maybe a small contingency of, I don't know, R'hllor soldiers. And they're coming back and they're going to bail Westeros the fuck out. Not Westeros. Winterfell the fuck out. And big no-no. Let's go hide in the crypts. Big fucking mistake. That's a big fucking mistake.
but where
I'm
else
on
are they
record
gonna
to say that
hide?
many times.
I don't know,
Anywhere.
but not the anywhere but the fucking
But
crypt.
here's my question.
Hide in a tree.
Hold on.
Go and leave.
Hold on. Here's my question, right? My question is this. Can the crypts be sealed? Is there a door that can seal the crypts?
Yeah, but then you're sealing yourself in with the fucking dead.
Yeah, but think about it. They could, if they have dragon glass down there, they should be fine. I don't know. Here's the thing. This is the only reason why I say that I don't think they're gonna raise the dead in the crypts is because I think doesn't the Night King or the soldiers have to be in the vicinity of the dead?
We don't know what the range is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing I'm thinking about. I don't know if that's something that's gonna happen.
Ashley says, think we'll see Nymeria as a white. I don't think so.
No, I hope
Dexter
not.
says, nah, Thoris told him he has no more lives before he died. He knows what's at stake and he would give his life to revive someone important. Sandor, maybe. I'm thinking Jon Snow. And the reason why I like this about Beric resurrecting someone is because doesn't he trade his life for Catelyn Stark when she is the what the hell do they call her?
He did
Lady Stoneheart.
Stoneheart. He did for Stoneheart, but I just
So that would make sense because in the book he gives up his life. So in the show he'd give up his life, but to a different character. See, so it could work. Oh yes, Biggie, I agree. Bring Kinvara with you. Oh, hell to the yes.
So, Chris, real quick on Facebook, Sarah actually makes a very valid point.
Okay.
She said, first she says, I had to finish the last live show yesterday, but want to point out that, the crypts before Harnholm we saw skeletons bursting out of frozen solid ground. So she makes a very valid point there.
Yeah, and we saw skeletons just jumping right over the ledges, right?
Truth.
So John said that when we were on the previous podcast, John said that the Night King can't resurrect skeletons. Yes, he can. It's magic. They can write whatever the fuck they want.
Their horses are half skeleton.
Yeah, so it's magic. Bad. I think it's a bad idea. And John should fucking know better.
I know.
Why
I
are you
agree.
so stupid? I know why. Because he was written stupid. Don't be stupid. They could get on a fucking boat and leave. It's ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah, but wouldn't they
On
just
Facebook,
follow?
On Facebook, Marianne says, I think the Whites will get into the crypt through the secret tunnels, which I think they've mentioned the tunnels enough that I'd have to agree.
Let's see here. Kayleen says Nymeria isn't dead, though, unless I missed something at Ashley. No, I don't think so. either.
Nymeria's not dead. She
I
was
just don't
set
think
free.
they're gonna. Yeah, they're not gonna put that in. I think.
Remember,
Seeing
Nymeria became too wild for Arya to keep her.
Yeah, and we saw her in season 7, and that's all you're going to get of her.
That's it. Yeah,
I think.
you got Ghost. That's all you got.
Kayleen says, and this is at Dexter, I feel like he just means that Beric would come back again, but he may be able to save someone else. Dexter says Beric doesn't know why R'hllor has kept him alive, so this may be it. Could be. The problem I have with R'hllor is the cool thing about Game of Thrones, and the problem is that we have the gods without counting. We have the faceless. We have the we have the god of death. We have the Night King. We have R'hllor, and it's like, Jesus Christ, which one is real? Which one actually exists? And I think it's Death and R'hllor. I think those are the only two that are there. But I want to see if I don't know. We always have these resurrections, and R'hllor has a plan. What is the fucking plan? Can someone tell me what the plan is?
Nobody knows. So Chris Gisela says on Facebook, I don't think the Night King has power over the Starks. There must always be a Stark at Winterfell for a reason. An army of Winter Kings.
Maybe. Let's see. Jack in the Box says they don't have the budget for Nymeria. I agree.
Yeah.
They got so much money spent on flying dragons in the
Look
dead.
how bad they made Ghost look.
Oh,
That dire wolf is freaking badass, and they make it look like a puppy.
I'd like to see it, Kayleen, but I don't think we're going to see Nymeria come and help.
No, Nymeria, we're never going to see her again.
Welcome, Samantha. She says, I think so, at Ashley's comment, which I totally missed, so I'm very sorry about that. Kayleen says, yeah, that's probably accurate. I would wonder why they bother to show her again at all. I think it was just
a separation of Arya and Nymeria. It was a goodbye.
Ashley Ashley says, I would bet my left beat-it that Caitlin Stark will rise.
That is.
Listen, I have been calling for Lady Stoneheart since I read it, and I wanted it, and they didn't do it after the Red Wedding. I was so pissed. I still want it to happen.
A lot of people were pissed.
Let's make it happen.
A lot of people are pissed. Let's see. We have Stefan in Get Vocal says the meme that's going viral this week says that episode 3 will make the Red Wedding look like a rehearsal dinner. Yeah, we posted that on our page as well. That is a good one. Elizabeth says Ghost was a ghost. And Elizabeth says, yes, Lady Stoneheart. I was disappointed at first. Now, I'm okay. It is what it is.
Okay, Chris. So there's like a really cool exchange happening right now on Facebook between Jeremy, Glicopedia, what's up, girl, and Gisela. So Jeremy writes this theory of Theon turning Bran into a White Walker in order to be powerful enough to beat the king. Then Glicopedia says, I'm curious how that would work, to which Giselle replies, I wonder if Bran has the power as a White Walker without being controlled by the Night King. That's very interesting.
It's a very interesting conversation. I want to welcome Badges to Get Vocal. What's up?
Hello.
And Ashley said something. I'm telling you, that's why Arya is running scared in the trailer. Are you referring to thinking that it's?
I think she thinks it's Nymeria that's been turned, or either Ghost has been turned.
See, I'm still going to my theory that either this is in the crypts, and because remember how she was talking about death has many faces, and she's throwing the knives at the.
But she's not afraid of death, though.
Well, that's the thing. She's throwing. She's throwing.
She's throwing the dragon glass.
Throwing the dragon glass at the post, right? Showing Gendry that she's a badass, and she's talking about. Excuse me. Take over for a second.
She's talking about how the death has many faces. She's talking about, all that stuff. I'm not really sure where Chris is going with this, but I think it's, he's going down the road of something has to really scare the crap out of her, considering that she is at this point where death has many faces. She's not afraid of it. So to see her running in such terror and panic, something big has to freak her out.
Yes. I think it's one of the lieutenants coming after her because she's talking all this shit about how she's not afraid and she wants to see the death. She wants to see death, and she's talking to Gendry like she ain't scared. Wait till she sees one up close.
Yeah, and it's funny too because you notice that in the trailer or the little nugget before the end of the episode to show you the preview of coming to 3. If you notice when she's running, because we didn't know prior to episode 1 and 2 that she asks Gendry to make her a special weapon. If you watch her running, she does not have her weapon. So either a fight went very, very wrong, or Chris might be right that she's seeing one of them right up close, and now the reality is setting in. Or as like Elizabeth says, it's got to be a family member that scares her. So, there's a lot of stuff going to happen.
There's a lot of people commenting about that in the YouTube, and Elizabeth saying, very interesting, creeper gets real. And Elizabeth saying it has to be a family member to scare her. What if someone who is living but dies and is risen? And on the Behind the Iron Throne.tv, our YouTube channel, I think it's Ashley who mentions, no, Catelyn being reanimated is why Arya is running. So I don't know where Catelyn's body is, but if it were Catelyn Stark, popping up, yeah, that would
but
suck.
the last time we knew of where Catelyn Stark was, she was floating down a river.
Well, as far as the book's concerned, I don't know what happens to the body in the show.
I don't remember either. I don't know if they ever talked about it. I thought they put her on a boat in the show. Does anybody remember that episode after the Red Wedding?
No, I don't think they put her in a boat. I think you're getting scenes confused when
they put somebody on a boat.
Yeah, Catelyn's father when he passed.
Okay, so
remember, and
so Catelyn's dad,
Catelyn's brother. Yeah, Catelyn's brother couldn't hit the mark.
Oh yeah, that's right, because he's really bad
to do it.
So, but I think they just disposed of it. I don't know. Like I don't know if it ever was said where Catelyn's body is.
Jack in the Box is saying, didn't Littlefinger bring Catelyn home to Winterfell? I don't know. Possibly.
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it before Sunday.
Kyle's on and get vocal. Welcome, Kyle.
What's up, Kyle?
It would be a shock if the Frey sent it back to Winterfell.
Yeah, I don't think they would have. Somebody would have had to go get it.
Kyle says the Freys are shitheads.
Unless, because remember, Arya was there. She killed Walder Frey and, pretty much all of them. It's a possibility that...
Kayleen says... Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were finished.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Caitlin says her statue is there. I'm pretty sure that means her body is as well. Maybe. I don't know.
I just wish we had more info.
Yeah.
Robert made a really interesting point on Facebook. He goes, I think that the crossbow will change hands to kill Cersei as the dagger did to kill Littlefinger.
Could do. I saw a really funny meme today that I posted all over. I've been reposting memes on our pages, on our BTIT community page. If you're not a part of our BTIT community page, get over to Facebook and join the BTIT group. I will admit you. Just hit the button and we'll get you in there. Join BTIT group. Also, like the BTIT Facebook page, like our BTIT YouTube channel. Get a part of this community. Get in here because we want you guys a part of this conversation. The boat was Jamie letting Bran go. I think that. Oh, so anyway, this meme I saw. Right. I'm sorry. I'm going 5 different directions here. It was Bronn basically saying that the Night King's going to give me a castle. So he's gonna go fucking kill Jamie or something. I
Yeah,
thought that
no,
was
that's not gonna happen. The Night King don't give a flying
You
fuck.
got to see him. I can't do a fucking meme justice on a podcast. You have to see it. It's funny as shit. Now, I just want to talk about real quick my favorite part of episode 2 was when everyone's hanging out in that great hall room with the fire going, and
Oh
all
yeah.
these characters that we love are together. And I think almost every character in that room is going to be fucking toast
I don't.
because
I
we
don't.
saw this togetherness and Podrick singing that song that everyone's fucking crazy about.
But it has significance.
It does, but he's a good singer, but I didn't care too much for the song. My favorite part was when Jamie knights Brienne.
Oh yes.
I actually cried, and also,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I cried in the scene where Theon and Sansa embrace,
Yes.
and Danny's standing there like a dove.
Yeah, I think the bigger thing there is Danny's reaction, because I think if you notice in that scene, because we didn't get a chance to really dive into it when we did the recap episode, and Kelly, I'd be curious to see if you feel the same I do about this, is, in that moment, Danny realizes she's completely out of her element. She's not going to be able to just have these people fawn over her and love her. She has to earn it. And I think, Theon's reaction, like she asks very, like, she wants to know, like, is your sister, like, she's trying to make sure that his sister is okay. And then he's like, no, she's fine, my queen. And then he turns to Sansa and this exchange. And then you see Danny in the background, like, I'm never going to have that. You will, you got to earn it, right? Like, that's how I kind of felt, like she just was out of her element and she doesn't understand.
Kelly,
Yes.
another awesome scene that I want to hear your opinion on is I brought my own drink because this guy had suckled the milk from a giant
milk, like,
and it made him strong. That was such a prick waving dick fight. That was Ego 1.
I literally
versus
could
Ego
not stop
2.
laughing at that.
And that's what it was. It was a prick waving dick fight. And he's like, that was awesome.
It was great.
If Giantsbane dies, I will shit.
I only want him to die if it's a White Walker giant and he's got to suckle a teat, because that's just poetic justice, I guess.
I do not want to see him die. If he dies, I'm going to be very sad.
I will be upset if he
Yeah.
dies. He's a great character, and everyone's like Brienne and Jamie, and I was more hoping for Brienne and Giantsbane, because I don't know, I just think he's carefree and primal enough to offset her seriousness and duty.
I don't think that they're going to get together.
Oh no, that's another thing we don't have time for.
It's the big woman here.
I think that if anyone was going to get together, it would be Jamie and Brienne, which I never thought would have happened. But there's definitely some kind of chemistry.
The reason why I think it can happen, and of course, Hart, I'm totally shipping that. Sorry, Kelly, I know you hate that, but anyway, the reason why I say that is because to Brienne, Brienne, Jamie, she is Jamie's equal. And I feel like for her, she feels like he's not afraid of her. He's not, worried that she's a swordsman. Like, he doesn't worry about those things. He sees her as an equal. So that's why I think that makes more sense. Tormund's just in it for, getting the pussy. We all know that. He just.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not saying, listen, girl, I ain't saying a word. You got to do what you got to do. These are uncertain times. All I'm saying. But I think the overall arc is because they are equal. And you know what I mean? I think that's where the appeal comes to.
Yeah.
Now,
especially now since he knighted her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's true. And John says it in the Facebook. Tormund blew his chance with Brienne. She was so grossed out by the story. That was it. Soon as he started talking about the giant's milk and the suckle of the teat, she's just like, yeah, dude, it's never happening. I'm never going to look at your penis. Like, she was basically, she said it without saying it. You know what I mean?
Some of the comments in the chat on BehindTheIronThrone.tv are kind of going back to what you were talking about, Julie, with Danny kind of not knowing her place. Jack in the Box says Danny realizes she'll never hold the North. Another reason to kill John. And I'm going to read a couple comments, but this is all back to Danny definitely being out of her element. Julie, I think
Yeah.
you got that right. Kayleen says I don't think at all Danny would try to kill John. Kayleen says she was just talking about how much she loves him. She's already lost enough. That'd be stupid. And Jack in the Box points out that John stands in her way.
He does now.
Yeah, if anyone believes this fucking story, because who's going to believe Wheel Creeper?
Well,
and
see,
Sam?
the thing is like that would make sense if John hadn't told Danny what he did at the end of this episode. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to continue to say it. It was a massive mistake to tell her his lineage. He never should have opened his mouth, because now all her mind is going to be focused on is she's not the rightful heir to the Iron Throne. That's all she's going to think about.
But he doesn't care about the throne, and you got to give Jon Snow, who is probably very
We should just call him his real name.
Whatever. I'm going to call him John for now because I get confused enough as it is.
That's true.
He told her the truth because he has good character. Ashley says, I think John and Danny are like Harry Potter and Neville Longbottom. You get another gold star for this. Both the chosen one and one will self-sacrifice, becoming the prince/princess that was promised. Kayleen says, yeah, I just hope it doesn't play out that way. I'd rather her use her head, impulse control. She's not very good at that. She also goes on to say, but they believed Bran up to this point. It was a very Ned Stark move. I totally agree. Totally agree.
The thing is that they believe Bran, but they're also now the factual backup is coming from
No one
Sam.
believes Bran, except for John and like that small little Nate. Everyone else thinks that Bran is a fucking creeper.
Only you think that Bran is a creeper. Nobody else thinks that. You are the only dude. Let's go back to the Situation Room when Theon was saying with all the stuff that he was saying to Bran. They trust what Bran is saying. You're the only one because you don't like the fact that he's a dream creeper, and that's okay. We understand. We understand your hate, but
he's the wheel creeper. But you never see him move. He never rolls anywhere.
He can teleport himself. He has telepath. He's like Professor Xavier. He just moves. You don't ask questions. It just happens. Okay.
Kayleen agrees with me. Gold star Kayleen.
It just happens. But the story of John's lineage is now factually backed up by Sam because of what he saw at the Sept. That is the only reason why the story holds water.
Now, what John should have said was, I want to tell you something. I'm Aegon Targaryen, whatever my name, blah, 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 blah. I really do care about you, but I do not care about the throne. I just wanted to tell you the truth.
Hey, I don't know why they didn't put that in.
Why don't they write the character to speak? He is the worst speaker ever.
Yeah.
He's terrible at speaking.
I think it's and this is, I started to think about this because you had brought this up in the last episode when I was listening to it. I was like, you know what? Chris is right. He said this a couple of times too. And then I started to remember that John has a very difficult time articulating himself, right? And I'm thinking that the writers are just like, fuck it. He's the hot one in the show. We're just going to make him, have all the blood and the dirt and all that stuff on him. He doesn't really need to speak. He's just the hot muscle guy. You know what I'm saying? That's what it kind of feels like to me. But I think it's doing a massive disservice to John's character. It's doing a massive disservice to the Game of Thrones.
I hear what you're saying, but it does fit his character the way it's been written thus far. He's, I want to say, more of a man of honor in action, and I have to give him respect in this case. It's don't tell me, show me kind of thing.
Yeah, but to not even get the opportunity to tell her, listen,
it may
honey.
Not even make a difference though with the way her character.
Yeah,
is
but
right
if he were to say, listen, honey, I love you. Can't wait, to get the pickle and the tickle again. Okay. But I don't want the throne. I never wanted it. I would never want that. Well, I'm doing that. I already bent the knee to you. You are my queen. Like, they didn't even give him the opportunity because we're blow the horn. Here come the dead. Like, it's like, it leaves you so unsatisfying. It's like a guy with blue balls. Like, it leaves you so unsatisfied.
The way they wrote it, and I'm just going to try to play devil's advocate here because I can't always make fun of everything. They set it up so that we would have these conversations. They set it up so we have to watch I mean, they do an amazing job writing, no matter how you slice it. Because here we are arguing about imaginary characters with no real soul. They're imaginary, and
Yeah.
we're talking about this like it's something that's real.
Valid point.
So,
And we all love
so
you, BTIC community. Thanks for being here with us.
This scene was very frustrating, Elizabeth. Any comments on the Facebook that you want to bring up?
Let's see. Robert says Bran is Google with bad Wi-Fi signal.
That's funny.
Okay, let's see here. There's a lot of comments here. We're going to get to you, Kyle, in just a second. Elizabeth, beat it. Let's see here. I'm going to try to get caught up on the .tv here.
I'm just going to say that Mama Cheryl, God love you, Mama Cheryl.
Is she here?
She's in Facebook.
Awesome,
He
Mama
basically has said that, referring to Jon, that he does not want the throne. Yeah, he didn't even want to be king of the North. When they gave him that before he left to go to Dragonstone, he was very uncomfortable having it. He didn't even want that. He's never wanted those accolades, and even before, like, it doesn't matter that he now knows he's Aegon Targaryen. It doesn't even matter. His whole plot development, his whole thing is he was always content with being a bastard and being a brother of the Night's Watch. He knew that was his fate. He knew that's where he was. So he has never sought extra power. I don't even think I don't think he wanted to be the commander of the.
Oh no,
he didn't even want that. But once he gets into the role, he assumes the role and he does a good job with the role. But as far as him actually wanting those things, he doesn't. So I really wish that he would have been able to articulate to her, because now her head is not going to be right. And she may lose another fucking dragon because of it, because her mind is somewhere else. And that's not good for the overall thing.
I think that that's part of the reason why this next episode is going to be heartbreaking. I mean, it's going to be it's going to be Death City. I'm just saying. Some of the comments here, it says, Biggie says, maybe Bran will show Dany a vision about Rhaegar and Lyanna getting married in Jon's birthday. And Jack in the Box says, what if the betrayal prophecy was really pointing to Dany betrayal, a love, not vice versa? Very good points. Kayleen says, can Bran show people what he sees? Biggie says, maybe.
It's never been discussed, has it?
If Dany is in denial, it may be the only way to show her the truth. Kayleen says, yes, I don't like the way they've written Jon's reaction. He has never wanted to be in leadership position like that. Why doesn't he say that now? It's a very good question. Biggie says, build drama. Samantha says, I just want to see Dany have another vision like when she was at the House of the Undying in season 2. Can she see the future this way? It's a very good question.
Yeah, guys, Trin and I have talked about that at great length, about that dream sequence. We've been spoken. Hello. We've been speaking about that when we were leading up into this season. I'm still convinced that those dreams are going to come back into play big time.
They have to. And Kayleen says, but it is a bit insulting to the fan base's intelligence, in my opinion. We know Jon doesn't want the throne.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree. It is.
He keeps trying to give up his positions, and he keeps going higher and higher.
I know, right?
This is for me. I try to throw stuff away, and I just get kicked in the balls.
This guy can't get fired no matter what he does.
Yeah, that's what makes him a good king. I agree. And Kayleen says, you know what, though? Jon is like Rhaegar in that respect. Rhaegar didn't like fighting, but he was good.
Truth.
Jon doesn't want the job, but he is good.
He's much like his father, very much so.
Awkward.
Adding on to that, Sarah in Facebook says that I think the conflict will be if he believes she is the best person. He won't give up the throne to someone unfit.
Oh, good point.
That's valid.
That's valid. Kyle makes a point. Beric will probably die. What if he gives the kiss to life, like in the books, to one of the Starks, like Arya, Jon, Sansa, or maybe even Bran? No, not to Bran.
It won't be to Bran, because remember, Bran is no longer a Stark.
Would be a poet. I definitely think that Melisandre will bring some Red Priest army like the guys you were talking about.
I agree.
Last podcast.
I agree.
Poetic. Yeah,
I honestly think that's going to be the last scene.
Could be. I think that the red lady and they're going to come back. I think they're going to come back and do some rescuing. I do. Let's see. I'm missing something here. Oh, I wanted to bring this up while it's still fresh in my head. Sam giving Jorah his family's Valyrian steel sword.
That literally made me tear up.
We kind of glossed over that in the last episode, and it's kind of like, here comes Sam. Doop, 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 doop. He already saved Jorah's life. Jorah's queen, and of course Sam's queen, murdered his dad and his brother. Yet he's giving Jorah his family sword because he can't hold it up, number one. But it's also a very touching moment, and I have a feeling that Jorah, he was on my list to die. I think he's going to live.
I do too. That
What do
sword,
you
giving
think, Kelly?
that sword is significant. Okay, Kel.
Biggie says maybe John is testing her. Remember what Sam told John? You gave your crown to save your people. Can she do the same? Excellent point. Biggie on this last topic says Jorah should hook up with Mama Tarly. Yes, I agree. I could see that.
That's so awkward. We don't have time for
What
it.
did you think about the scene, Kelly, with Sam giving his family sword?
I think the relationship between Sam and Jorah is a sweet one and an unexpected one. And um I think it's gone a long way towards Jorah kind of feeling like he has the ability to redeem himself.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think
But-
I think what really is the most significant part of it is, I think it had more to do with almost like a thank you to Jorah for his father.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, Jack
Jorah's
in the Box.
father. Jorah's father, not
Jack in the,
Sam's.
Yep, Jack in the Box says symbolic of Jorah's father passing on his family sword to John.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically that same point.
And it's Valyrian steel, and Jorah's gonna need it.
Yep.
And Jorah is a much more skilled fighter than Sam. Obviously.
Like not even a Sam is the first White Walker killer I think we've seen on the show, right?
Yeah.
And Sam's cool, don't get me wrong, but he couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag compared to what we've seen Jorah do.
See, I think somebody makes a valid point. Irina, I hope I'm saying your name right. Irina is saying each person with a Valyrian steel sword will probably kill a White Walker, I would think. I think she's right. I think they will kill everybody that has a Valyrian steel sword will kill one of the generals. I don't know how many generals there are, but I have a feeling that they will kill the generals with those.
I believe that there's a lot of them. And of course, I don't have any evidence to that except for the Army of Dead is huge. And I think that the Night King there has to be rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like anything else. You can't have a fantasy without rules. Like there was rules in Lord of the Rings. There's rules in Star Wars, although they break those fucking rules all the time. Thanks, Disney, you cocksuckers.
Wow. Let's stay on
But-
topic.
I'm just saying. I'm very bitter about the rule breaking.
I understand.
There are rules in this world of Game of Thrones, and I think that the Night King is limited to how many generals he can make and of course without those generals you wouldn't have such a large army. Kyle says the last scene of episode 2 had so many generals, and that's what I got out of that too, Kyle, that string of those guys on the horses. I think that there's a lot of them. How many? I don't know, but it's somehow proportional to the regular whites. Kyle also says Craster has over 50 to 100 to 100
Yeah, that's
sons
true.
in the books, and you're right. You're absolutely right. So, shit on me. We're in trouble, and I've mentioned this on the podcast for fucking years. And if you all remember, if you go back or if you've listened to the old episodes and you remember, our very own Lord Ductarian, Jonathan Stonewatch, used to argue with me that it wasn't that big of a deal. Well, it's a big fucking deal.
It is a big deal, yeah.
Let's see here.
Jeremy on Facebook says there was 99 babies. That's what That's what his name gave to the White Walkers. Gilly has number 100.
Oh, shit on me. And we know that John.
Maybe that's
killed
what he's
one
doing this
in
for. He's
Hardhome.
just trying to get his baby back.
So let's speculate here, because if people can theorize that Serial Pharrell is going to jump out of a fucking box,
Listen, Serial Pharrell is not coming back.
I know.
okay.
I've argued this for 5
Everybody
years.
needs to understand this. Serial Pharrell is dead. Let him
So-
be dead. Okay.
Let me say this:
The fake
if
man is more likely to come back, and that would make Kelly's day. He's more likely to come back than fucking Serial Pharrell.
so John killed a White Walker lieutenant, if that's what they're calling them. He killed one in Hardhome, right? That's one.
Yes. So now we're down to
Uh,
98,
Sam killed one, right?
97.
So the
Their
Gilly's
odds are
baby-
getting a little better, Kel. They're getting a little better.
okay. So
96.
did anyone else kill one?
No,
Where was he? Where was I?
John killed.
Oh, yeah.
John killed 2.
Yeah, because he killed 2. You're right, and Kyle says that too.
So we're down to
in
95,
the
folks.
Episode season 7.
Yeah.
Remember when it was at the episode?
Yeah.
when-
One at
when
Hardhome. Yeah,
Gendry-
he's right. One at Hardhome.
one in Hardhome and one in season 7. When I think that was the same episode where Gendry was running,
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
and Biggie says Mira Reed killed one. Is that what she's saying? Biggie's saying maybe.
So if
Yeah.
that's the case, then we're down to 94 generals. The odds guys just got a little bit
little bit
better. It's a little bit better.
A little bit
Robin
better.
says, I'm not looking forward to another sacked quarterback to kill the army scenario done in Battlestar and countless other stories. I agree.
Right. Mira killed him in the cave. All right, good point,
Okay,
Kayleen.
down to
and
95. We
Vicky.
got this, everybody.
Awesome. Okay, yeah,
got
nothing
this.
to worry about here.
Just somebody
like
send a
nothing
raven to
to-
John real quick.
We're okay. Nothing to worry
Oh,
about.
God. It's going to be it.
They are fucked.
Dude, they are so fucked. They are so fucked.
There is
Oh.
no doubt in my mind that 3/4 of our favorite characters that are at Winterfell are going to die.
It's just this is gonna be probably bloody as fuck. I can't wait.
Mira killed him.
I kind of
Biggie
don't want to
says-
see it, but then I have to. Do you know what I mean? Because I just can't not have the closure and knowing what's gonna happen. I think once this episode airs, and I think once we get over it, like go through it. I mean, I can tell you right now, there's not gonna be a single light on in my house when I'm watching it. I'm gonna have my popcorn. Nobody's allowed to talk when I'm watching it. And I just think like afterward, I'm gonna be even less satisfied, but I'm gonna feel like, okay, now I realize what's about to happen. I think I'm gonna have a better understanding.
Kyle says Mira throws a dragon glass spear, and a couple of the people in the YouTube said that as well.
Yeah.
Kyle's saying, I'm calling it. Arya kills one like with throwing knives. I wouldn't doubt that.
Listen,
We saw her throwing knife skill.
she's Gambit. We're gonna just look. We've got Bran, who's Professor Xavier. We've got Arya, that's Gambit.
That's funny.
Like we're going here, right? So, and we've got Danny. She's Storm, right? This is all
Where's
working out.
Wolfie?
So much parallel between X-Men.
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow, yeah.
No, or yeah, how about Jaime Lannister?
Maybe Jamie would be better, yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, the whole X-Men thing isn't fully working.
Listen,
but I
it
see
worked
what
up
you're
to the first 3, and that's about as far as I got, okay?
Kaylin
Sansa
says
is Phoenix.
originally-
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
Kyle. Kyle says
Nice.
Sansa's Phoenix. Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
about 2 on the nose, right?
Perfect.
Yes.
I like Sansa in this last episode. You know, I really do. Kayleen says originally the time slot they told us for this episode was 60 minutes.
I think it's 80.
It's now what, 82?
Yeah, it's 82, start to finish.
I was like, damn it, we're screwed. Yeah. Kayleen, Julie's thinking on the fly, don't rush her comparison, laugh out loud.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you for defending me. You're my BFF right now.
Nice. Sansa has grown on me as a character. I love her. By the way, I love her outfit. That battle armor shit she's
Yeah,
got
that was
on.
cool, but I still
Yeah.
like Danny's outfit better. She's hot.
Yeah,
Oh,
but I don't
so
want-
hot.
I don't know.
I would bend the knee to that any day.
The
Boom.
conversation that Danny and Sansa have Like my brother loves you. Well, I love him. Boo hoo hoo. Yada yada
Yeah, but I
yada.
thought that was actually a really good scene
Yeah,
between the two of them
it was good.
until she was like, "Okay, bitch, what about Winterfell? Bitch, there ain't gonna be a
Yeah.
Winterfell, so
But
this is a
but you
mute
had to
point."
ask.
Okay,
See, Julie, a lot of people are complaining about this, but I think that Sansa had to ask
I don't think she
because
had to.
if you start thinking in terms of, well, fuck it, we're not going to make it. You are not going to make it.
I agree with what Elizabeth just said and get vocal. Sansa was looking like Cersei in that moment. That's right, she was.
Well, that's not untrue.
She was
I
putting
can
the
see
cart
that.
before the horse. That girl, I'm sorry. I'm going back to it. Head in the clouds. She has no fucking clue what's coming. And as soon as she sees what's coming over that horizon, those White Walkers, guarantee you she's going to be like, oh, fuck. She's too far in her head now.
Biggie says Sansa looked like the general of her Unsullied Army. And Katie funny. There's a lot of people that do not understand what the hell's coming.
Yeah.
Most people don't.
Cersei
there's
is
only
the
a
biggest
handful of
one.
people. Yeah, but she saw the undead zombie come
But
after
she
her.
didn't see. Wait. She saw that, but she did not see the generals, and she did not see the Night King. She has no fucking clue. Because when what's his name, creepy Qyburn, right? Creepy Qyburn comes and says they've broken over the wall. She's like, good, like, bitch, they're gonna come for you too. You can't stop. See, here's the thing. This is what makes Cersei so fucking just infuriating. Good. Like, you think you're going to spread your legs open to the Night King and he's just going to allow everything? Bitch, you can't fight them. You don't have dragon glass and you don't have Valyrian steel. You're fucked.
So I feel Kayleen says I feel like Sansa isn't quite as smart as she thinks she is, which is also reminiscent of Cersei.
Yeah.
Elizabeth says, let me get to here real quick. Elizabeth says, you are right. Sansa has no clue. Even Cersei is underestimating. Qyburn knows. Kyle says, do you think the Golden Company knows what's going on up north? I don't think they have a fucking clue. Not
If
really.
so, they
a
would have
clue.
brought the fucking elephants.
Not the elephants.
Fucking zombie elephants.
Jack in the Box says even Arya doesn't understand this category of death, and that's a great point.
It's true.
Biggie says Dany's face when Theon said, "I came to fight for Winterfell." Between the lines, I came to fight for the tall redhead northern lady right there. Yeah, that's read between the lines. Got it. That was funny.
Yeah.
A great point. Let's see. Kayleen says, but I give her credit. She's very smart, but she doesn't have this all thought out like she thinks. Shayna says, dude, Necromancer is shook. You need to worry. Dexter says, Cersei would be happy to be Queen of Ashes.
That is a valid point. Yeah. Cersei would be, but the only problem is she's going to be the biggest pile of ash. Like she's going, like she,
Kelly, you're like, yeah, fucking burn,
like,
bitch.
Listen, you guys know how much I hate Cersei. You can go back and listen to so many episodes from however many years ago where we were doing this show. We were with Cersei. I can't stand her. And
she has been through a lot of shit.
The problem with Cersei,
she's still alive.
She is still alive, and there's a reason for that. There's always a reason why these characters are still alive. But the problem is that Cersei this is what makes Cersei vulnerable, and I think this is also what's making Sansa going to be vulnerable too. But luckily for Sansa, Jon is there, and she has a lot of experience around her, so she can't underestimate her opponent in the way that Cersei will. Cersei has no fucking clue. And the problem is she thinks that she is untouchable. As long as she's in that keep and she's sitting on the throne, she thinks she's untouchable. You are not.
Do you think she does, though? I mean, she just lost her dragon to this army. Oh, or I
was talking about Cersei, not Dany. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dany knows. Dany knows what's coming. She saw it to an extent.
She's on board.
Like, she's on board. She knows what's fucking coming. Cersei is so in her head, and that's I go back to it's all her father's fault. Her father gave her this false sense of confidence. And, she was able to manipulate Robert. She was able to manipulate Jaime. She thinks that everything can be solved with what's between her legs.
I don't
and
think
sometimes that works. What's that?
I don't think that it was Tywin's fault. I think that Tywin was an incredible character and an incredible leader, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
you
don't
know-
disagree with that, but remember, he bent the knee too. Her father bent the knee to the Mad King.
Kyle says, there will be a dragon in King's Landing, like we saw in Bran's visions. The question is it in the Night's King? Is it the Night King's or Dany's?
I think it's neither. I think it's John.
Could be.
I think John gets on Kelly, the green one's Rhaegal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll get on Rhaegal and he'll go down there and try
Yeah.
to be like, look,
Viserion is the Night King.
yeah, now the Night Kings, yeah.
Ice Dragon.
Yeah.
And Drogon is
Dany's.
Dany's. Kayleen says, I don't know. Her dad was big on putting her in her place and even told her she wasn't as smart as she thought. I agree. I totally agree with that.
I think it
but-
also is meant to shape her in a certain way.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
But man, she's a good
Facebook-
manipulator, though.
Any Facebook comments to get caught up on?
Let's see here.
There's a ton, so Kelly's gonna
Yeah,
have to go
it's-
through a
Okay.
lot.
I'm scrolling.
Okay.
There's a lot that we kind of covered already.
Yeah. Jeremy says Sansa's gonna take King's Landing.
Right underneath of everything. I love that. That'd be great.
Cheryl says Sansa will crumble at the sight of the White Walkers. I don't know. I think she's actually growing a little bit of a pair.
She is growing a pair, but I think anybody that sees them for the first time, that you get that holy shit face. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I certainly think it'll be a shock, but she took the first sight of the dragons pretty well, comparatively speaking.
That's true. That's true.
Does anybody, and maybe the chat, you guys are going to have to keep an eye on that Facebook chat. That thing is rocking and popping.
Yeah, it
Holy
is.
cow.
Yeah, it is.
You guys might have to take turns. What do you guys think? My panel here, and of course the audience. Real quick, let me just read this right here. Jack in the Box says, "Will John and Dany have to go up to the Night King's lair to burn the weirwood tree where he was created to kill him?" That's a very good question. I wonder about that. We haven't talked about that
Ooh.
in fucking forever, so that's a
Ooh.
very good point. I want to ask you guys in the audience, our BTIT army here. Does anyone care about Grey Worm and Missandei anymore? Like, does that even fucking register? Like when they kissed and had that.
I'm gonna
little
let
scene?
Kelly. I'm gonna let Kelly go with this one because we kind of talked about it in the last
Yeah,
episode.
Kelly, did that matter to you? Like, do you give a shit about that? And audience, please jump in the chat. Do you guys care? Kyle's saying, "Die, Grey Worm." Die, Grey Worm.
I think it's nice in the fact that there are two characters who, everybody else is like, dude, we're fucked. We are so fucked. And these two are actually trying to be like, when this is over, we're going to go on and continue to live our lives. So it's nice. And think of what they came from. You have one dude who got his bits and pieces whacked off, and one chick who was raised as a slave her entire life. They have the most hope. Like,
Yeah.
they're probably going to be the first to fucking die,
Yeah.
but they have the most hope, and I like that.
In the chat on the btit.tv, it says, Kayleen says yes. So she cares about Grey Worm and Missandei.
Jeremy says on Facebook, not anymore. Too much bigger things going on now.
Samantha says yes. Kayleen says I piggy them. Piggy says Grey Worm is dead. Jack in the Box says they did.
They did.
Sam says they are the only black people on the show. I like seeing them. Also, they are genuinely kind. That's an excellent point. Now, let me just elaborate here on this a little bit. I like how D&D put these characters in. Now, here they are. They're riding up, and they're people of color. And they're both attractive. I mean, I think Grey Worm is an attractive male.
Yes.
And I think Missandei is one of the hottest fucking girls on the show. I love her.
Yes.
Love her. Love her. And all the people in Winterfell are looking at her like, who the fuck? Like, there's a lot of racist undertones here.
Yeah.
And it's kind of true to the world that they live in. I mean, these people have never seen someone of color. They're
Yeah,
all
no.
pale white.
Yeah.
They're Casper the Ghost motherfuckers.
It's true.
So they don't know what to make of these people. And now here's a whole army of Unsullied. It's like, holy shit, they don't know what to expect.
Well, I think Kelly hit it right on the head. Here are these two people that have, you've got Grey Worm, who is minus his twig and berries, and you've got Missandei, who was a slave. And Kelly's right. They're the two people right now in Winterfell with the most hope. Everybody else knows the doom that is coming, but for them, for Grey Worm and Missandei, it's, well, there is hope. And that says a lot.
And they're feeling so maybe isolated isn't the right word, but all these people are they're being assholes to them.
They feel like they're in a box. They're in like a glass cage, and they're just being stared at like a museum.
I feel like all they have is each other. And when go to Narth thing, that was nice, but I don't think we're gonna get much more of them. Quite honestly.
Cheryl says in Facebook, they're the quote unquote look of love in the story at the moment.
Yeah.
Which we need, because the rest of the season is just going to be ugly crying fest.
Kayleen says it's very interesting because I feel like all Black people of color connected with that look when they were arriving in Winterfell. You don't belong. They felt like they don't belong here, or they don't belong here.
Yeah, it was a prolific scene for any person that has ever, any person of color who's ever had to see that look in somebody. That is a very, very profound scene for them.
Yeah. Now in Essos, there's lots of different people of color.
Yeah. It seems like Essos is the place to be.
Yeah. And in Winterfell, in Westeros, not so much. Not so much, or at least from what I can, especially in the north.
Yeah. Robert says Grey Worm and Missandei are worthy minor characters who could have a role in ruling Essos if the end game is shared democracy scenario.
I could get behind that.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is, the fact that he doesn't have a twigs and berries and can't procreate with her. Kayleen, it's also kind of weird to see race play a factor to this degree on the show. Not to mention that, Kayleen, but also this late in the game. I
think it's social. I think it's a social thing.
They took the time to write that in for a reason, and it makes the world feel even more real.
It goes beyond the show.
I don't care what anybody says. Racism is definitely alive today.
Oh, yeah.
And it has an ugly face.
Big time.
So having it on the show really shows it shows a lot of reality, which sucks. It sucks, but it's reality.
Indeed.
Kayleen says it's never been in our face like this. I completely understand and appreciate it though.
Listen, I thought it's been ever since the first, when they first arrive and Missandei has that look to Grey Worm. I knew exactly where D&D was going with that. And I applaud them. I applaud them big time for bringing it to the forefront on such a monumental show. We're not talking about a B-level show. We're talking about a television program that had 35 million stream watchers. 35 million people watched the very first episode of season 8 of Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. That is a huge audience to get that point across, that very important social issue, across, because whether we want to admit it or not, racism is still rampant in so many parts of the world, but it's really become even more rampant in the United States since certain things have happened, and I won't get into it because this isn't the right show for that.
Right.
But I'm just saying, to have that platform and to say, this is what goes on, is basically checking white people, check your racism and your inner prejudice at the door. Because at the end of the day, we're all going to fall on this battlefield and bleed red. That was the underlining tone that it felt like with that whole arc. And I applaud D&D for putting it in because it is social. It's a social issue right now.
Right.
And it's literally getting a lot of attention, and I'm grateful for it.
Biggie says it happens in the world right now. When you go to a remote place, the locals look at you like an outsider. Kaylin says, and we're like, Missende is a badass and she deserves respect. Grey Worm too, and all they saw was color. Jack in the Box says, death is the enemy of life. It sees no color. Kaylin says, I completely agree with Julie. And Sam says, yeah. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I wish I had more color because here I am in the studio, and if you're watching live, I look like fucking Casper the Ghost. Like literally the light reflects off of me.
He's way better at tanning than I am, everybody. He got more of the Italian gene than I did. Don't let it don't fool you.
I know I look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Anything in Facebook?
Cheryl says there's a good reason they waited till now to put it in the show.
And I think while you're looking, our next comment, or our next thing I want to bring up to our audience in the panel, if there's no more comments you're going to bring up,
I don't think so.
All right, is the meeting in the big? We're going to have the big meeting. We're going to talk about our plans. Got the big map on the table. You know, this is what we're going to do. And of course, Dream Wheel Creeper.
Oh my God! I swear, you say it one more time, I'm going to reach through the screen and punch you in the face.
I can't help it. He drives me nuts. This character drives me freaking nuts. You know, their big plan is to isolate the Night King.
Which is smart.
The War Room. Yeah, the War Room, Jack in the Box. The War Room was a really good scene. But here's the thing. There's a lot of fucking what ifs here.
Yeah, there always is in battle.
They have to isolate him in the Godswood. And Bran is like, oh, he's going to come for me. He's got me marked. I know he's coming for me. And do you guys think that, that's funny. Biggie says, nice Winterfell coloring crayons map.
Kind of reminded me of Rob.
Is it possible, and this is just a weird thought I had, is it possible that this episode coming up is the death of the Night King, and the last remaining episodes is dealing with Cersei and getting Westeros under control? Is that possible?
No, they couldn't. They cannot kill the Night King and defeat the army of the dead in one episode.
No way.
Right?
No.
Yeah, I agree.
Kayleen
I agree with Kelly.
Kayleen says, I said that earlier, that Ice King plan has so many holes
I'm not
in
saying
it.
I'm not saying that the plan has holes in it, but I think I understand. I
feel collectively they should have a smarter plan.
You know what? Here's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's roll. Let's just roll with this for a second, right? So we see the plan. That the plan is that Bran is going to be in the courtyard. Theon and the Ironborn are going to protect him, and he's going to offer himself as bait to the Night King, right? That's what we know. That's the only thing we know. However, what we don't know is what Tyrion and Bran talked about when they were left alone in that room. There could be a whole nother thing, another scenario. You hope that they had other contingencies and they're not just rolling on that and like running out into the battlefield and trying to kill all these dead people. I think they have to have another thing.
Do you know why we didn't see that conversation? Because it was boring. It was Bran doing his whole, I'm not really Bran anymore.
So everybody that's, the Beats It Army that actually gives a damn about, the Bran storyline, right? Follow me on that one. I'm thinking that there's something more to this, because remember, Tyrion is a very smart strategist.
Oh my God. Hold on a second. Kaylee just said, I love Theon's arc, but Theon guarding Bran is fucking stupid. I agree. Yeah. And Biggie's got a plan too. Just chop Bran's arm off and put it in the Godswood.
Yeah.
Now, Jack in the Box agrees with you, Julie, I think. Did the Creeper tell Tyrion something to help the plan?
This is what
Rest
I'm
in-
saying.
Biggie says, "Rest in peace, Theon." Cash, welcome. Cash says Creeper gave him a side mission.
I think
Brand's
so
actually-
too.
Jack in the Box says Brand's actually been telling people exactly what they need to know. A la Matrix, possibly. Any comments in the Facebook, guys, you want to bring in to this conversation?
Gisela says, if the Night King is smart, he would go to King's Landing, surround Winterfell, the dead from all sides. Kind of like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variables here, people, and I do think that this plan is full of holes.
The plan we know of. That's the underlining thing here. It's the plan we know of. There's a
Here's
lot
what-
of
so
shit
here's
that
what we do
probably
know.
happened that we don't know about.
Well, let's look at what we do know. We know that there's an army of the dead heading straight for Winterfell.
It's already there.
We know that they surrounded Winterfell with sticks, with pointy sticks and collapsible bridges that makes trapped things and all kinds of trap, right? All different traps. We know that there's fire in that pit, right? Or something. Maybe there's going to be fire.
Yeah, we
And we
hope.
know
We
that
hope.
they have taken dragon glass and they put it on the ramparts of Winterfell, like up on the top there where you shoot the bows, where the point you can see them, how they put them in the stone. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. They have the trenches. Thank you, Jack in the Box. They have the trenches, but we know that we have Brienne fighting over on that hill
With her
we have
Valerian
Jorah-
steel sword.
with a Valyrian steel sword. We have Jorah Mormont with a Valyrian steel sword. Everyone's got dragon glass axes and bows and arrows. But what we don't know is where the Night King is. We didn't hear the dragon. We didn't see the dragon, the ice dragon. We didn't see any of that shit. So I really like the theory that he's saying, fuck y'all. I'm going down south first. Because he could take his time and pick them off. They don't have to eat. They don't have to sleep. They don't get cold. He could just wait them out.
John was saying in Facebook, and this is in reference to what you were saying, Chris,
Mhm.
about will it be a one and done with the Night King? He says, Chris, I wondered the same thing. They are rushing the story, so this could be the final battle with the Night King and the dead. We've already seen Hardhome and the Battle Beyond the Wall. How many more fights do we need to see against the Night King?
I have a feeling that this episode is going. So the bulk of the episode, obviously, we know the full episode is a battle, with probably maybe the mightily exception of the first 5 minutes where they kind of set up
Right.
the dialogue, right? But for the most part, this entire episode, we already know for fact because it started out at 60, now it's at 82 minutes. We know it's a full battle. I think it rolls into episode 4, but remember, there's still another battle. There is a King's Landing battle that still is to come.
Now, is that King's Landing battle going to be the dead or the living? And
We don't know.
real quick, Jack in the Box says, oh, come on. I just saw this comment. I thought it was a good question. Well, where are the two dragons going to be, though? From what I understand, they're going to be near the Godswood so that they can go in and that's what I thought. They were not going to be in the main part of the battle at first, right? That's what I thought.
Chris, hold
in
on 1
the-
second.
Yeah.
Irina just absolutely blew me away with a comment on Facebook. Okay. She says, somebody else mentioned this in another group. Quote, a dark-eyed youth, pale and fierce, sliced 3 branches off a weirwood tree and shaped them into arrows, unquote. She writes equals Theon ? He's a good shot with arrows. Comes full circle.
If Theon killed the Night King, is that what we're saying?
I don't
Is that
know
the
if that's where she's going with it, but that was very prevalent in, I can't remember, Kelly, you'll have to help me. I can't remember which book that was in, but it was definitely spoken about. You know what I'm saying, Cal? I can't remember which one it was.
I
Well,
do, but my brain is not
While
processing.
you're on the spot here, Kyle says, how can you run away other than by dragon with so many people?
You
That's
can't.
another point. They're trapped.
You can't.
Where are they going to go? If let's say that the battle goes bad, right? And they have to flee. the Night King, the dead don't have to rest. They're not going to stop. So even if you run faster than the guy next to you, eventually you're going to run the fuck out of steam. And that dead army is not running out of steam.
She said, so Chris, she says, no, she doesn't think that Theon will kill the Night King, but this is one of Bran's visions. He might be able to hold him off, though, maybe, the Night King, that is.
Kyle says, it's effing winter, no food either. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of fucking problems.
The only real clear path, and they've already hinted at it, was retreating to the Iron Islands. That's the only thing.
They did hint at that too.
Right, that's the
true.
only path that they could potentially take to escape. But you're still asking. I mean, you got to figure you've got how many Unsullied, how many Dothraki, right? And now you've got this massive dead army, and you're trying to get everybody down this very narrow escape route to get to the Iron Islands. That's damn near impossible without the Night King picking them off.
True. A couple of comments. Kayleen says, I kind of wonder how or if the dragons not liking the North will play in, like maybe they're not at their best, or maybe that was just plot filter for the dragon ride. Big E says, I will not be surprised if they defeat the Night King, but I want to see the Night King at King's Landing. I agree. Kayleen says, I want Cersei to see the Night King. Laugh out loud. Jack in the Box says, Theon kills the Night King, and I believe they're laughy faces. Yeah, because I don't fucking believe that. That would be kind of interesting, though. I can see Theon kill a White Walker, says Big E. I could, too. Real quick, because we're going to be running out of time soon, and Kelly, I really wanted to know what your sword rating was for season 8, episode 2. So 1 out of 10 swords. What's your rating? And then we're going to go back to the comments.
I gotta give this one a 10.
Wow.
There was just so many different parts of it that I thought were done exceptionally. Brienne being knighted, the reunion between Sansa and Theon, the actors' response, the portrayal when Jon told Dany the truth. Yeah, I loved it.
I wasn't happy with Dany's reaction.
It made sense to me.
Oh, it definitely made sense. Big E is saying 9 swords out of 10. Anyone in the chat rooms want to give it a rating? Now's the time. Hit us with a rating and we'll try to read it on here because we're going to be running out of time soon. I'm limited. I'm limited on the live stuff. So I want to try to get everyone's comments. And Kyle says 9 out of 10 swords. This episode was good. I liked it too. I mean, I think I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Samantha says 9.
Okay. Samantha says 9. Shayna says 9 out of 10. Kayleen says 9 out of 10. Awesome. I'm really glad we got to do this episode with you all. Biggie says you could, if Bran explained that the children of the forest made the Night King.
Irina gives it a 9 out of 10, Chris.
Okay. Cash is 8 out of 10. Jack in the Box, Brienne's knighting is a 10. Rest of the episode is a 9. And I just want to reiterate this. I really am so grateful for all of you guys in our BTIT army being a part of the podcast with us live. And everyone that's listening to this after the fact, even though you can't be a part of it live, you guys are awesome. We've had a record number of downloads on this podcast, more than we have ever had before. And I almost shit a golden goose egg. I was so happy.
So
you guys sharing our content.
Yeah, it's great.
Being a part of our community.
It's amazing.
Commenting and enjoying all of this on the Facebook, on the YouTube, in getvocal.com, in our BTIT club, people that are going to be with us at Ice and FireCon. God bless you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've been podcasting for years. This is the best podcast we've ever done. You guys are awesome.
It's the most fun.
It's because of the audience.
Oh, yeah.
It is
without you guys, we're nothing.
Yeah.
So Marianne gives it a 9 out of 10. John gives it a 9. Randall popping in there gives it a 9 out of 10. And Mama Cheryl gives it a 9 out of 10. Real quick, too, Chris. John says D&D. Now, this is what he said. D&D could frame the last episodes as episode 3, Night King battle at Winterfell. Episode 4, Mourn the Dead and prep for the battle at King's Landing. Episode 5, King's Landing battle. Episode 6, Dream of Spring. Season wrap up, end of winter. Only 4 episodes left, people.
Wow.
Those are good points.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Robert gives it a 9.5.
Kayleen says, I love y'all. Thank you. Just recommended you guys to a friend.
I
Ah,
That's
thank
awesome.
you.
much appreciate it.
Yeah. Word of mouth and sharing our posts is huge. And that means the world to us. It really
Here's
does.
the great thing, everybody. We're just a bunch of nerds who absolutely flippin' love this shit. Like, we met Kelly playing video games, okay?
Star Wars.
We played Star Wars Galaxies together. We used to role play, and Kelly gave we had so much fun. And Kelly has been a friend of ours for I don't even want to say it, Cal. We're gonna say it's been a seasoned run, a seasoned run. Okay,
It's a long time.
so
before I got married.
yeah, so
Yes.
for us, it's
it was
just
13 years
a
ago.
bunch of friends hanging out, talking about something that we just enjoy, and to have
Yeah.
all of you comment, participate, send questions, send emails, do all that stuff. It just validates to us that we're just a bunch of nerds talking about it, and y'all are getting something out of what we're saying.
So Daniel says, if you cried, it should be a default 10 out of 10. Laugh out loud. I agree.
I agree.
That's awesome. I only have a very short amount of time.
Robert
left, so I'm
says,
gonna-
last scene of the series, Tyrion finishes his joke. Well,
That's
but
fine.
wait, but will a mouth be around his cock? That's what we need to know.
Yeah, ding, 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 Yahtzee. So I've only got a couple minutes left before the live stream shuts down, and I'm going to end the podcast because I want to get all these announcements in for everybody. So if you want to join us live, please do so at behindtheironthrone.tv. That's our YouTube. You can get us at facebook.com/Behind the Iron Throne. If you're part of the BTIT group, if you're not, just look us up, ask to join. I'll invite you in. You'll get a notification when we go on Facebook Live. Of course, the Facebook page itself, Behind the Iron Throne, Google search it, we're right there. If you want to, you can get us at our new platform that we really love and I want to thank the team at getvocal.com for making this thing possible. It's really, really helped us, although I really need that extra time. I emailed the boss of Get Vocal. I believe the name is Alexander, and they're going to try to make it longer for us, but it's not turned on yet, but I can't wait for that to happen. We're at Ice and FireCon right now. Well, I'll be there tomorrow night. The rest of the team is there now. Trin is there now. John is there now. They're on panels. We're going to participate. We're doing a live meet and greet in the Scarlet Oak Room on Saturday, April 27th at 3:30. We'll be there. We'll be recording it live, and you can actually talk into a microphone like you're on the podcast as well. I got all the equipment that I'm going to be taking with me. We're going to be trying to do live video there, Facebook video there. I'm going to have YouTube video there. I'm going to take 4K camera there and try to bring as much of that home back to you guys that couldn't make it to the con as I possibly can. That being said, our next episode, we're probably going to be recording either during the episode, because I want to try to hopefully we're going to be in a room full of people watching episode 3, when maybe 1,000 people. And I want to try to record it at the same time as they're watching it to get people's reaction. If that doesn't work, then we're going to record right after with Trin, John, and myself.
So you're trying to recreate the Red Wedding reactions.
We're going to have a bonus episode right after with my other teammates. So we're going to try to record a lot. Enjoy every minute of Game of Thrones show, because we won't have another show like this in the long run. That's right, Big E. Jack in the Box says enjoy the con. Definitely will. Wish I could be there. Shayna, well, there's always next year, because I think they're going to do it again next year. All right, so I'm pretty much out of time. Julie, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Kelly, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next Sunday. This Sunday coming up, right after the episode we're going to record, and then we're going to go back to our Monday recording schedule. And then after the season is over, we're going to do expanded episodes. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time from behind the Iron Throne. Hashtag BTIT.
Eats it for
Forever.
life.
Bye, everyone.
Shake and bake. Wheel creeper creeping on me. Sees the future. He sees me. Creeper. Boo. I just had to throw that in there. All right. The podcast part's done, and the show is about to end in about 20 seconds.
All right, Chris.
So I'm hoping that we get this extended.
So you
live
you
thing.
stopped the actual recording of the podcast, right?
Right. But we're still live, and it's going to end in like 5 seconds. But
Okay, do me
I'm
a
hoping we
favor.
get that extension.
Do you have it all